I started to tell myself, yes, I'm not good at this yet. And that's the essential part. It's okay and it's important to acknowledge that you're not good at something at the moment. But this opens the doors towards progress, towards improvement. What's up everyone? My name is Caroline from HabitsInProgress.com, which is where you'll learn to achieve your goals one habit at a time. In this video, I'll show you what a growth mindset is and how to develop it. I'm really passionate about this topic because I believe that the majority of my achievements were possible because of my mindset. I've just published an article on this topic that I'll link in the description down below that goes much more in depth. So if you want to go deeper and really learn how to develop that good mindset, then make sure to check that out. Okay, let's start with the question, what is a growth mindset? Now, to be honest, I didn't know the term up until recently. I always talked about you need to have a good mindset to achieve things and it's all about your mindset. So that was really a term I knew, obviously. But I didn't know that there's actually something called growth mindset and fixed mindset as the opposite. Now, the two terms have been developed or invented by Stanford professor Carol Dweck. She performed various experiments with children and students where they were praised in a different way. Whenever they achieved something, for instance, a simple or a little more advanced math puzzle, one part of the group got praised in a way such as, "Oh, perfect, well done, you're really good at this." And the other part of the group got praised as, "Well done, you tried really hard." Now, the interesting part is that once they got it to solve a problem that was a little bit more complex, the second part of the group that got praised in a way of saying that they tried really hard succeeded at a much higher rate. In fact, it almost looks like as if the first part, which was praised as being smart, rested on their laurels. They were like, yes, I'm good at that. I know I don't have to try very hard, right? While the other group knew, okay, I can succeed if I try really hard. So I'm gonna put all my efforts into solving that problem. These two groups of children represent the two kinds of mindset. The first part of the group has a fixed mindset and the second part has a growth mindset. Now, what it really means is by having a growth mindset, you believe that intelligence and abilities and skills are not innate, but that you can become better at them by simply practicing. So this means that you don't envy people who are very good at something, but you just see that there's been a lot of effort and a lot of practicing behind their skill. And you also know that theoretically you could achieve the same successes by simply putting in the work, the same amount of work. People with a growth mindset also appreciate failure, mistakes, and problems. They see those things as opportunities to learn and to improve. On the other hand, people with a fixed mindset believe that you're born with a certain intelligence, with certain abilities and skills. They would say things like, "Oh, this person is so good at drawing," or "This person is so good at singing." They also believe that they themselves maybe they have certain skills, but they certainly don't have these other skills that they envy other people for. They feel like they're simply not born with that ability, so there's no point in even trying. They're also afraid of mistakes and failure, and they fear that showing mistakes and admitting failure will make them look dumb, so they try their utmost to avoid it. Now let's look at why having a growth mindset is important. As you've probably understood by now, by having a fixed mindset, you're limiting yourself. You're afraid of trying new things, you're afraid of failure, and you're jealous of people who have certain skills that you would like to have, but think that you don't. Now, in order to learn new skills or to generally succeed at whatever you want, having a growth mindset is crucial because this really opens your mind to the possibilities that you have, and it lets you see failure and mistakes as opportunities to grow, and you almost appreciate them. So for instance, I really like the term fail fast, learn faster, and this is really what I use in my everyday life. I love learning by doing. because this means you're pretty much throwing yourself out there and just trying things. Naturally, you'll make mistakes, but this is the fastest way to learn and to improve. This is why I really appreciate making them at the very beginning as fast as possible, because this will mean the greatest learning curve. You'll immediately go on that curve upwards. However, if you have a fixed mindset and if you're afraid of failure and mistakes, guess what happens? You don't want to try new things, and you certainly don't want to do learning by doing, because obviously you're going to make mistakes and it's so threatening to you. This means if you learn something, it will take much longer. You're going to study and think and wait, but you're never actually going to do something. So as you can see, you're really standing in your own way if you have a fixed mindset. On this note, I'd like to tell you a little personal story. I got a really cool birthday present recently from a good friend of mine, and that was that we'd both take a watercolor painting class. Now, to be honest, I don't remember ever having painted with watercolors. Maybe sometime in primary school, but certainly not after that. So the first thing I told her was like, "Oh, that's so cool, thank you. I suck at painting, but it's worth a try." And later on, as I kept telling people the same thing, like, "Oh, I suck at it, but it'll be fun anyway," I realized I'm actually limiting myself. And I also realized that I tried to protect myself, because I was worried what people would think if they saw that the painting I made was horrible and like really nothing special, which is obvious if you've never done it. So I said that to kind of have a protection wall in front of me. Now, the sad thing about this is that I also put a wall between me and the success. While I enjoyed doing it and enjoyed doing a new thing, I was always perceived that I would never get better at it. Once I understood that, I tried to rewire my mind towards a growth mindset. So I started to tell myself, yes, I'm not good at this yet. And that's the essential part. It's okay and it's important to acknowledge that you're not good at something at the moment. But this opens the doors towards progress, towards improvements, because now you know, yes, I'm not good yet, but I can get there by practicing a lot. Okay, now that you know what a growth mindset is and why it's important, I'd like to show you how you can develop it. So there are pretty much 5 key components or steps that you can take that will get you towards changing your mindset from a fixed to a growth mindset. Number 1, change your thoughts wording. Now, as I've said before, it's obviously in your mind. So it's all about what you think. If you tell yourself, I'm not good at that, I'll never get good at that, I don't have that skill, I'm not talented, then you block yourself. Your mind pretty much shuts down and doesn't want to try it. So change your thoughts by acknowledging that you're not good at it yet, but try to find the possibilities how to get better at it. Try to ask yourself, how can I get better at painting? How can I get better at singing? Things like that. Number 2, do things you're afraid of. Now, by stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things you're afraid of, you also get in that practicing mode, because it constantly gets you in a position where you fail, where you don't know what's next, will you come across a problem. So it really lets you practice to find the solution, to have your thoughts in a positive way, in a problem-solving oriented way. It's like adopting a new habit. It's all about practice. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. For instance, I was afraid of what people might think of me or my opinions, which is why I put off making videos for the longest time. And here I am doing it anyway. Feels a bit weird for the first few times, but I know I'll get better over time. Number 3, see failure as a chance to grow. Now that goes hand in hand with number 2. When you try new things, you'll naturally come across failure pretty fast. So appreciate that. And as I've said, think about the saying, fail fast, learn faster. The faster you fail, the faster you'll get on that learning curve upwards, and the faster you'll achieve your goal. So look forward to the mistakes and appreciate them. Number 4, try new things regularly. Now, this might be similar to number 2, where I said do things you're afraid of, But it can also just mean that you're always looking for new ways to learn, trying new things out, getting new skills. So for instance, I now really like painting with watercolors. It's still a learning curve. I'm not a pro yet. Maybe will never be because I don't have the time, but I really enjoy doing it. I also picked up yoga recently, which I really enjoyed for a while as well. But now I realize it's not really the right time, or maybe I should take a class instead of doing it with videos. So it's totally okay to try something and then decide it's not for you. You don't have to keep all the new things because you don't have time for everything naturally. But the important thing is that you really constantly get your mind to adapt and to find solutions for new problems and to really keep it flexible. And number 5, get out of your comfort zone. Now this is an even bigger step than number 4 and maybe also number 2, and it's to think about things you really want to do but you feel like you could never achieve it, or there's so many obstacles in the way and you don't dare even thinking about it. Take those things and start working on them. For instance, a while back I went traveling through Asia for 6 months all by myself. I was really afraid that I might be lonely and alone all the time, and I also had to sublet my flat, which was really time consuming and annoying. So it was very far out of my comfort zone. However, it was one of the best experiences in my life. So it was so worth taking that leap, that step out of my comfort zone and experiencing new things that I could have never imagined being possible. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more videos how you can achieve your goals through habits, motivation, and the right mindset. And if you have any questions or concerns, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll make sure to answer all of them in the comment section. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye bye.